Let's bring in Bren Carlill, Director of Public Affairs at the Zionist Federation of Australia. Bren, thank you for your time. These live pictures, as I say, coming to us from Gaza, where there would be an expectation there, as there is right around the world, that Israel will launch a ground offensive very, very soon.
Yes, that's right. Apparently the Israeli cabinet will be meeting today, Israel time, to confirm and agree to the operational plans, and then we would expect the operation to proceed at some stage after that.
What's the mood like within the Australian Jewish community right now? We heard the opposition leader talk earlier about the impact it's having. He said that he's heard accounts of Jewish parents having to tell their kids not to wear school uniforms, that at the risk of being attacked or approached. What's your feedback from the community?
One of horror, of anxiety, of terror. For the last 3 or 4 days, the community has been fixated on Israel. Almost everyone in the community has friends or family in Israel, and they've been trying to digest the information from there, trying to understand it, and in many cases trying to work out whether or not their loved ones are safe. And then now in Australia, the Jewish community is feeling unsafe here. You know, it's people often forget that outside Jewish schools, there are permanently armed guards. So the Jewish community lives in constant threat of violent attacks against it, and it has to take these measures in order to protect itself. And then in situations like this, where you have, say, the rally on Saturday or Sunday night in Lakemba, and then the rally last night outside the Opera House with the despicable chants that were stated, what that does, apart from the sheer offensiveness of what that said, what it actually does is increase the danger to the Jewish community here in Australia.
That rally yesterday, the Prime Minister said he didn't think it should have happened. The Premier's also been highly critical. Is that a failure in security planning that wasn't prevented to enable the Jewish community to pay their own respects on the night when the Opera House was illuminated with the colours of the Israeli flag in solidarity with the people of Israel?
100%. This is an occasion where all decent Australians should have stood in solidarity with the victims of a horrendous terrorist attack. And instead, the streets of Sydney, just as Jews in Israel are being murdered on the streets, in Sydney, the streets of Sydney became unsafe for Jews, and Jews were told to stay at home. And instead, these people chanting death threats, what amounts to death threats against the Jews, gas the Jews. It's highly offensive. And there was also, I haven't heard mention on the media, but I've seen the clip. I saw a Hezbollah flag in there. Hezbollah is, of course, a proscribed terrorist organisation. Hamas is a proscribed terrorist organisation. It is against Australian law to advocate the doing of a terrorist act. I have to say, some of the things that we saw there, that rally was in and of itself a celebration of the attacks that Hamas did. It is not about Palestinian rights. It is the celebration of the attacks. And the fact that the rally would even go ahead, the fact that some people wanted to attend that rally, much less what a rabble as part of the rally chanted in front of the Opera House, it staggers the mind that people would want to attend that rally and want to be associated with the depraved acts that we have seen on Israeli streets over the last 3 or 4 days.
Bren, I know you've been to Israel many times, and you know that security apparatus is one of the most advanced in the world. It must have been shocking to you, and I think there's so many in Israel, that it was breached in such a comprehensive fashion by Hamas terrorists just a couple of days ago.
100%. It is a colossal failure of intelligence. The idea that 1,000, some people are saying over 1,000 Hamas terrorists could infiltrate into Israel, that the fence was breached in 80 areas, that all this planning could take place under the nose of the Israelis is astounding, and questions will definitely be asked. But Israelis and the Australian Jewish community are focused on securing the situation right now. It seems that the last Hamas terrorists that entered Israel have been killed, and now the focus is moving to retrieving the Israeli captives in Gaza. And I think once that operation has concluded, I think then when this war is over, that's when questions will be asked. There will no doubt be an investigation. I have got no doubt that careers will end, certainly military careers, maybe political careers, but I think all of that investigation is going to wait until this war is over.
But it is a terrible conundrum right now for security agencies, for the Israeli IDF, given Hamas has so many hostages in their custody.
It's beyond imagining how terrifying it must be for the people who are captive, for their families, and of course for military planners to have to enter Gaza in order to take these people back. I have no idea how it's going to unfold, and I've got no idea what their plans will be. But as you say, a terrible conundrum that no country should face. And it's just it's a sad fact that this is what Israel faces now. So as this operation proceeds, and as Israel enters Gaza with the sole purpose of retrieving its captives, and of course destroying as many Hamas operatives and Hamas infrastructure as it can, what we are looking for is a maintenance of this solidarity for Israel's right to defend itself.
Bren Carlill from the Zionist Federation of Australia, thanks. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. As we go to the break, you can see